This line that Stephen read today is buried in the 4th chapter of, as Stephen pointed out, a short letter to a church in modern-day Turkey, a letter that scholars see as a prelude to the soaring themes of Paul's other letters and other writings. And I believe it is perhaps the most powerful message in all of Scripture. With this proclamation, when the fullness of time had come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law. With this proclamation, Paul makes a claim for us and for our Christian faith that really can't be surmounted by any other faith statement or faith tradition. That's not to say that our religion, or maybe more accurately, our religious practice, has not made serious and destructive mistakes in its well-meaning, but often insensitive attempts at evangelizing. This is not to say that our Christian faith somehow supersedes Judaism or renders it irrelevant. No, Jesus and his followers, as we all know, were Jews. And Jesus himself was an Orthodox rabbi calling for a more perfect fulfillment of the law given through Moses and the Hebrew Scriptures. And perhaps most important for what we celebrate today, Jesus' mother Mary was an Orthodox Jewish woman, devoted to serving God through the strict observance of Jewish law. Our passage today from Galatians tells us what God resolutely committed to acting in history did in the fullness of time. When the fullness of time had come, in other words, when the time was right. But for whom? When the time was right for whom? It's not for God. Our tradition understands deity as being above and beyond and before time. There is no time for God. God dwells in eternity forever and is pure being. It is in the fullness of time for us, of course. The time was right for us in history. We, humankind, were ready to receive God in a different way, in a new way. Earlier in Paul's letter to the Galatians, in this chapter, Paul tells us that before this time, we were minors under the guardianship and protection of the Mosaic law, and under strict obligation to obey the law with all of its complexities and all of its demands. And then something happened. Something changed. In the fullness of time, God sent God's Son, born of a woman, and by this action brought us out from under the law and its rigid demands and implications, and in this change, we were given access through faith to the possibility of adoption as God's children. We would no longer have to be slaves with endless attention to the law. And as a result of this change of status, we have the further option of receiving into ourselves through faith God's very spirit, God's DNA. So where are we now through this fullness of time, through this change? Well, we are still in the fullness of time. We are living in the midst of a new relationship with God. God entered the world born of a specific woman at a particular time and a particular place in human history. And this specific woman is a woman we venerate always, but especially today. We venerate Mary, the Mother of God, the Theotokos, as they say in the Orthodox Church. We are told in this passage that God entered into our very condition. God was given birth by this particular specific woman, a woman who was human just like us, bound as we are by time and place and culture, a woman of heart and a woman of mind and a woman of will, of free will. We all know the story of the visitation given to us in Luke and spoken to us by Clemmy Morlock this year in the pageant. The angel Gabriel came to Mary and told her that she had been favored, called to carry within herself the child that was of the Holy Spirit. And Mary's words to the angel we know by heart. May it be done to me according to thy word. She really could have said no. This pregnancy was not forced on her by a tyrant. She was given a choice, and she chose to utter those words by which she will be remembered always. Mary was a person just like us, with the exception that, according to our tradition, she was free from the taint of human sin. But she was a person, a faithful young woman, living and moving in the world. And in this, she modeled for us, and she models for the church, that we are called and graced to be like her. For we too are given that same ability to respond, to make a choice. We as individuals and as a church are invited to choose as she chose. We are asked, as she was, to receive the Spirit of God, to allow God's Spirit to become visible through us, known through us to a world that is so often so very dark. We are called to give birth to God. This is the beauty. This is the true miracle, the all-encompassing hope of our faith, that God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, came to us rather than demanding that we go to him. God entered into our human condition, not as a king or a queen or a hero, but as a tiny, helpless infant, placing God's very self literally into our hands, at our mercy, powerless in the womb, subject to the will and voluntary nurture of an ordinary woman of faith in a family one social notch below peasant. We all know skeptics and scientists, and even from time to time ourselves, who doubt and deny this event. Virgins don't give birth, or the birth story is just made up to retrospectively give legitimacy to the story of Jesus' whole life. So what do we say to this? We can say we have faith that there is God. And our tradition tells us that by way of this story, God gives us this message, this word. This is how it is between you and me. You do not have to wear yourselves out trying to come to me by way of perfect observance of obscure and impossible laws. I have come to you. I have entered into the mess of this world, the blood and the pain and the afterbirth of your human condition. I have come to you as a baby at the mercy of a faithful woman and her faithful husband, not as a king or a queen or a warrior or a conquering hero or a brilliant entrepreneur, but as a baby, born of a woman in a family one notch below peasant. Yes, I have trusted you that much. Now, how will you respond to me? As we go out to get on with our lives in this crazy world, in this new year, may we keep God and Christ before us, with Mary as his mother and our mother, with Mary as our model. Just as Mary did, may we receive today and always the living Spirit of the living God, the Spirit of God who comes to us in poverty, this Spirit that comes upon us right in the midst of life. We, by faith, have been adopted as children of this child of Mary, who, it turns out, is the creator of all that is. Let us humbly invite others into this faith. Let us live out our lives with Mary as our guide, opening ourselves to receive God's Spirit, a spirit of peace, a spirit of vulnerable generosity, and a spirit of love. Happy New Year. Amen.